people. Happy Blue Wednesday. Welcome to Mislaid Pages. My name is Jessie, and you have just narrowly avoided seeing some random havoc that that Momo just caused. So I was getting ready to press the record button, and something happened. I don't know what happened. I didn't see it. I just saw Momo flying up into the air and landing on my table that has some knitting and some odds and ends. It's basically the little table that I keep next to my chair where I knit and do some crafting. And so Momo went flying into the air, landed on the table, knocked everything off the table. You wouldn't have seen it on camera, but you would have heard it. So yeah, just by that much you missed it. I don't know what's going on with Momo lately. She has this thing where if she gets startled, Momo is one of my cats, by the way. Most of you know this. If you're new here, you might not know this. I have 3 cats, one of whom is named Momo, and she's a little black cat. And she has this startle response where she jumps straight into the air and just lands wherever she lands. I don't know what startled her, but something did. And there was panic, and she scared all the cats and freaked me out. So yeah, that was. So how's your Wednesday? I hope the weeks go well for you. I needed that laugh, so I kind of appreciate the havoc that she just caused. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. I have a couple of knitting projects to talk to you about today. And I have several purchases that I'm really excited to show you, and I'm going to talk about some future stuff that's coming in, some stuff I'm really excited about. I'm really starting to get the itch is what I was trying to say. I'm starting to get the itch to cast on something new. The problem is I'm having a really difficult time deciding what to start. There's a lot of different patterns that I've already picked out that like were next to my list, and I have a lot of different yarns, so I'm just kind of hitting that like decision paralysis stage that I really want to start something new. I guess probably I'll keep plugging along on one of my projects until I figure it out. So so yeah, let's get into it. First I'm going to show you the project that I've been working on for quite a while now. So I started this in December. This is SLOCAD, and it's really, really long. I'm on section 16, and I have about 6 rows left before I finish section 16. So that's where I am right now. And SLOCAD is Secret Life of Cats and Dogs. It's an Advent pattern that Casapinka created and put out last year to go with an Advent yarn set that Asylum Fibers actually put out, but I have used a Ruby and Roses Advent because I didn't purchase the Asylum Fibers kit when it was released. I was able to get that earlier this year instead of during the Advent season. So I have that now, but I did not have it at the time. I had Ruby and Roses full Christmas Advent, so that's what I've been using. It's really, really gorgeous. I love this yarn. And I'm on part 16 of 24, so I'm getting close, and I only have about 6 rows left in part 16, and then I'll be starting part 17. So I'm getting really, really close, and I don't know how to show y'all the magnitude of this. So you're still only seeing about half of it at this point. So if I bunch it up, I know I do this every week, but I'm still shocked and amazed at how long it is. So, okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, there's the bottom. So I'll just kind of slowly drop it down. So can y'all imagine how long this is? This is really, really long. So I think if I can do it without tangling myself too much, you can see. I'll stand up here. So see how long that is? So that actually, it's already plenty long enough to be a full usable scarf. That's going to be really warm in the winter too. So that is, but I've still got, what is it, 5 sections? No. Something like 8 sections. I have difficulty counting. But there we go. So that's how long it is right now. It's a lot of scarf. But it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be super, super awesome. So, like I said, I got about 6 rows left of this. Let me bring it a little bit closer so you can see that marling. I love this marling pattern here. It looks really cool. And the next section is going to have full rows of marling, which is fun, because that's going to be more like, where is it? It's going to be more like this section down here, where I'll do full rows of 2 colors together. So that's going to be fun. Especially because the next section, section 17, is going to be this gorgeous teal color. So that's the next section. This is called Sleigh Bells. So it's this beautiful teal, and the color it's going to be marled with is going to be the bright blue from this section down here. So it's going to be this gorgeous blue with that teal. I think that's going to be fantastic. I'm very excited about that. So that's where SLOCAD is. I don't know why I keep wanting to add the extra L today. But yeah, that's where SLOCAD is. I still did it. That's where she is. She's a good long drink of water there. So I'm continuing to make progress. I'm happy about that. This is mostly what I've been working on lately, and everybody who follows week by week, yeah, you're just seeing a little bit more of SLOCAD because I just haven't wanted to work on a bunch of other stuff. Normally I have like 3 or 4 projects going right now, but knitting, I've been very focused on getting SLOCAD finished so that I can use that yarn in my inauguration celebration shawl. So, but I did get a few stitches in on my Empower People bandana, and this is actually getting really close to being finished. So right here, this is not a progress marker. This is actually the marker to tell me that I need to knit about 2 more inches, and then I need to start the flat section that will join into the bottom here. So I'm actually really close. The only thing is, I was noticing this the other day. I don't know how well y'all can tell, but my side here is really problematic. I don't know what's happened, and I don't know how well you can tell. I don't know what's happened, but this edge is not clean. It is from here down. So from about this point down, it's totally fine. And then starting here up, it is all kinds of wonky and messed up. And I think at least some of it must be that I must have dropped a couple of stitches somewhere or something, because it doesn't even line up evenly. So I'm not sure what's happened there, and it's bugging the crap out of me, to be honest. I'm enough of a perfectionist. Pardon me while I take a sip. I'm enough of a perfectionist that it is bugging the crap out of me that it doesn't, that it's not a straight line there. But at the same time, I put in so much work to this that I don't have the heart to rip it back to this point. So, even though I'm struggling, especially because I'm finding all kinds of mistakes, and it's just really bugging the crap out of me, but I've decided that rather than wasting the work that I put into it, I'm going to go ahead and finish it off, and I'm gonna make a finished thing, and then I think I might knit a second one, because I kind of know what I did here that is different from what I did up here. So when I started this, I was still knitting in the back loop because I wasn't fully comprehending how to knit properly, so I wasn't doing a regular knit stitch. I was knitting in the back loop, and there's nothing wrong with knitting in the back loop. Some patterns call for it, but when you're supposed to just knit regularly and you're knitting in the back loop, you're getting a slightly different product than you would otherwise. So consequently, the main difference here is that this part of the fabric is actually much tighter, which on this piece works really nicely. It makes it look very uniform, very flat. The fabric is really gorgeous. You can kind of tell up close, and I don't know how well you can tell on a camera, probably not well at all. The fabric is much looser from that point up, and that's because I think I must not have the tension even when I am knitting normally, when I'm knitting in the regular traditional knit stitch. So that does a number of things. So not only the fabric is looser, which is not a problem, but the stitches don't look as uniform, and I actually prefer the slightly tighter weave down here. Also, obviously, the edges are not as nice for whatever reason. So now this front edge looks totally fine to me. Like I appreciate the way that front edge looks. It is a little bit tighter and slightly neater on this part that was knit in the back loop. So I think probably when, not if, when I go to do a second one, I think what I'm going to do is I don't know if I'll do the entire thing knitting in the back loop, but certainly the edging on the straight side, I'll be knitting in the back loop so that I get that nice flat edge, because that looks really, really good. And I want the whole thing to look like that. I don't understand why. And I don't want it to bug me as much as it does. It shouldn't bug me, especially because when I wear it, the part that's going to be where people can see. So ultimately this piece, this flat edge here, is going to meet up with a flat edge over here, and then I'll be wearing it like a cowl basically. So it'll fit kind of like this. And really, for the most part, this flat edge is not even going to be visible for folks. So it really doesn't matter to anybody but me. Nobody's going to notice that, but it bugs me. It bugs me. So if I'm being honest with myself and with you, it bugs the crap out of me. So yeah, but I have committed to finishing this piece because I think it's silly to rip it all out for something like that that's not really even going to be an issue. And then I will try a second piece and we'll see how it goes. If I end up with two of them, then I may give one away. So we'll see. But this is, I don't think I did the full description. So this is the Empower People Bandana. This is another Casapinka pattern. She's one of my favorite designers. So this was a craftivism project that started last year. And the whole idea of having a purple bandana is to remind yourselves and to let others know that you're dedicated to working for social justice, and for all the things that includes. So and it's certainly, that's something that I think about every time I work on this, is how I can be doing more, and how I can be learning more, and how I can be bettering myself to help make the world a better place. So for everybody. So that's the Empower People. This is a free pattern. So if this is something you're interested in making yourself, you can find this for free. I believe on Casapinka's website or Ravelry, if you're able to access that. I know a lot of people are still having a lot of issues with Ravelry. So Ravelry accessibility is not terribly great. So if you can't get it on Ravelry, I believe you can get it on Casapinka. You should also still be able to get it on empowerpeople2020.com, I believe. There's also a crochet version, excuse me, and I think there's a sewing version as well. So if knitting and crochet are not your thing, you can also sew a version for yourself. So you can go check that out. I think I should have the links in the link haven if I forget to put them in the description box, so just FYI. So those are the two things that I've worked on. Like I said, Empower People is really close to finished. I am committed to actually finishing that. I don't know when it'll when I'll work on it. It's a super simple thing that I bring out when I'm doing other stuff, but more often than not, I'm working on SLOCAD. So that's where we are with that. So before I get into purchases, and I have some really awesome ones for you, let's talk a little bit about Advents. So we are fully into Advent season. And Advent, at least in the yarn community, or at least in my mind with these different surprise boxes and things like that, does not necessarily correlate directly to the Christian idea of Advent. More often than not, they are countdown boxes. I use Advent because For me, it's, you know, counting down to whatever exciting thing is happening. But countdown is probably a more secular term for that. I also don't mind using Advent for a number of reasons. I don't have issues. Yeah, Advent is what I say. But Advent does not necessarily mean Christmas, is my point. So yeah. So we're in Advent season. A lot of yarn dyers are putting out listings for their what will be their December Advents. Some of them are doing like July, summer, and like June and July Advents, which is really awesome. And there are also some doing Halloween Advents. So there's lots of stuff coming out. I have had to really check myself because I was about to wreck myself. There's so many dyers that I love that I want to try. I just saw that there's a cat outside. I wonder if my cats are going to notice, because there's a big picture window behind the camera, and I just saw him walk by. I think they're all too busy laying about. Okay, I'm just concerned that it might be exciting here in a second. Anyway. So there's all these fantastic dyers. There's dyers that I want to try that I haven't had a chance to try yet. There's dyers that that I know and I love, and I definitely want to get their Advents, but there's so many out there. And this is the time of year where they start listing those things, because obviously that's a lot of yarn to dye, even just for one box. And they're hoping to sell hundreds of these, so they need to start planning now. So some of them have payment plans and things like that. But the bottom line is that the smart and frugal person will probably just try to pick one Advent, because at the end of the day, the more Advents you have, the more minis you ultimately end up with, which for me is not really an issue. Other people who are not yarn hoarders might wish to not have all the minis ever. I want all the minis. I want minis for everything. And I think part of it is just because I want all the colors, like literally all the colors that exist, I want them in my life. And so I love these Advents because I get to open a new color every day. I get to see something new and fun and just try all these different colorways that I might not buy as a full skein, that I can mix together and do all kinds of fantastic stuff with. So I'm a huge lover of Advents. And of course I have purchased multiple Advents. The two, I believe I've only purchased 2 for December. I'm going to have to actually make a list because y'all know how I do. I did specifically purchase the Asylum Fibers Advent for 2021. Hers is going to be based on the Wizard of Oz Over the Rainbow. So yeah, I think it is Wizard of Oz, but it's specifically Over the Rainbow related to Wizard of Oz. So y'all know I was all about that. And her fabulous 2020 Advent, it was so awesome that I was like, when I saw her new Advent, I was like, yes. So yeah, I've gone ahead and ordered that. And that's going to be a rainbow fade. So last year it was like jewel tones. And they were still in a rainbow kind of pattern, but it was jewel tones, rich kind of cosmic feeling, very like nebula, space, cosmos kind of feel with those colors. This year it's going to be like a rainbow fade, so I am so here for it, I've also purchased Ruby and Rose's Advent because why not? And I've only just recently discovered that some of these dyers are doing Advents earlier in the year. Now I knew Rebel Woolworks was doing a Halloween as well as a Christmas Advent, and I'm still kind of, I really want those, but I get so much stuff from Rebel Woolworks because I love her stuff so much that I'm kind of holding off on the Advents from her just because I have so many other things. However, she's doing a retro summer Advent, y'all. Retro summer Advent. Like, oh my gosh. I love her colorways. She has this way of picking like natural colors and colors that would be considered more muted with other dyers, but she makes them rich and very tonal. Even though the colors are not as bright as some other dyers, they're so rich and luscious. And so when she decided to do this retro colorway, I was like, yes. I think that's coming out in June. And I just discovered today, so that I have purchased. I have purchased that. And I just discovered today that Dragon Horde Yarns is doing multiple advents earlier in the year. One of them is a Christmas in July. It's a Schitt's Christmas, so it's Schitt's Creek, but it's a July advent, so it will be 31 skeins of yarn. Oh my gosh, y'all! I have not pulled the trigger on that one, but I'm thinking about it hard. Also, there is they're doing a dark crystal themed one for Halloween. I think it's for October. So yeah, again, haven't pulled the trigger, but I'm thinking really hard about it because oh my gosh. So yeah, I haven't gotten any Halloween yarn advents yet, but I expect to because I'm me. But yeah, I'm trying to slow down on the advents, not only because it's going to be lots of minis, but also because I do want to spread the love around. So I do want to get from dyers that I love, but I also want to get from dyers that I haven't tried yet. I think it's important to just kind of, you know, support as many different folks as you can. So one of the new dyers that I've just learned about through a couple of folks, because they have a Ramadan advent, is Havari Bazaar, and their yarns are gorgeous. So the advent is actually multiple Muslim dyers, and Havari Bazaar is one of those dyers, and the colors coming out of there are fantastic. So Bendy Stitchy, she's opening the advent on Instagram, or posting her pictures on Instagram, and so is It Is Kismet. I believe her name is Diana. They're both opening those up and posting pictures on Instagram, and the colors coming out of them are fantastic. And also the yarn colors, the colorways have very special and specific meanings, and they're getting little notes about why that color was named that, and the specific meaning it has in the faith and in the holy month and all that sort of stuff. Speaking of which, we are in the middle of Ramadan. I want to wish a peaceful and happy Ramadan to all of you who celebrate. Okay, so that's my spiel. That's my spiel on advents. I'm sure you'll hear me talk about more advents because there will be more advents, because why not? But let me talk about what I actually have in hand. I have some really fun stuff. So I talked on Friday about the package I got from Asylum Fibers. So y'all know how much I love Asylum Fibers. So the dyer at Asylum Fibers, her mother makes project bags, and they did a collaboration for Mother's Day. Her mother made a bunch of really fabulous project bags, and then the dyer, whose name escapes me right now because names, she added some yarns that would coordinate with that bag. So it's yarns that she's dyed that have been paired up with bags that her mother made, and they did a great big sale on the 12th of April, and the bag sold out in literally 4 minutes. She had 30-ish bags, and it was a struggle to get this one, let me tell you. This was probably my 5th or 6th try, so I can't believe I even got one, but yeah. So I'm super excited, so let's dig into this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I knew that I liked the color. What I did not know is that this is a batik fabric. Y'all, I love batik. I can't even tell you how much I love batik. And it is so gorgeous in person. Oh my gosh. So this bag, it opens all the way up like that. It actually has a metal piece that goes around here that holds the bag open so you can work directly out of this bag. It's fabulous. Let me show you the inside too. So there's more batik inside, and there's a little pocket. It's a little pocket to keep your needles and things like that. Look at that bag. That's the yarn hiding in there. So this bag is so gorgeous, y'all. I say it was like my 5th or 6th try. Like, you know, this was not my favorite color, but oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I can't tell y'all how excited and lucky I feel, because I had never intended to get this specific bag, but I was so overjoyed with this bag. It does not, like, I got so lucky. Okay. Let me put the bag over here. Love the bag. Here is the yarn. So it came with 2 full skeins. I believe this is going to be fingering weight. And these are singles, fingering weight, 100% superwash merino. So singles are a little bit fuzzier. They don't have the twist because they're not plied. So rather than being multiple plies that are twisted together, so a high twist, you can really see all the different strands that are twisted together. So a single doesn't have that. It can split a little bit more, so I don't tend to work with it, but this is gorgeous. So here are the 2 singles. How fabulous are those yarns? So this is Peepers. I'll hold this one now. This is Peepers, which is a little bit more teal, a little bit more green. Fantastic. So this is 100 grams, 400 yards, and then this color is called Hydrotherapy. So this is a little bit darker than Peepers. It's got some even darker tones in there. It's nice and variegated. Those 2 colors are going to go beautifully together, especially if I find maybe a dark gray in a single. That would make a fabulous, ooh, I think Breathe in Hope from Casapinka is a 3-color shawl. Ideas, y'all, ideas. Okay. Actually, I know that Casapinka has multiple 2-color shawls and stuff too, so I can definitely use this for a Casapinka pattern. I'm super excited. But you can see that the yarns totally coordinate with the bag, right? Oh my gosh. So I'm very, very happy that I lucked into this. So like super excited. So I don't know when or if she'll have these bag combos back. It all depends on when and if her mother can make more bags. But these bags are fabulous. Now she did mention where you can get the pattern to make a bag like this, and if I can remember where I saw that, I will certainly try to put it in the description for you in case you're looking to sew your own. But it is a fabulous bag. It's very roomy too. You can see I've got those 2 skeins in there, and there's still so much room, so much room. So this would be a great travel bag. I think actually this pattern is called a retreat bag, and you can imagine why. So it's a little bit like a doctor's bag. It just doesn't have the straps on it, but this would make a fantastic bag to travel with because you can put multiple projects in there, or if you're working on a great big project, you can have multiple skeins of yarn and actually fit your whip in there. So that's a fantastic bag. I'm so excited. So very, very happy about that purchase. And that was sort of a luck of the draw because I really didn't think I was getting one of those bags. I tried my first and second and third choice, and then, you know, I don't even remember. I just, at that point, I started looking at the ones that were still available and like, well, that color looks okay. That color looks okay. But that is so much better in person than it was in the picture. It's fabulous. I'm so excited. Okay. So, also, last Saturday was Local Yarn Shop Saturday. Was LYS Day, so local yarn store, local yarn shop day, which means that lots of different local yarn stores did all kinds of different stuff. And I actually got to visit a local yarn store that I haven't had a chance to visit yet. It's called Dances with Wool, and it is a little bit closer to me than the one in Ashland. What is it called? Rachel's screaming it at me. I talked about it before and now the name escapes me. Oh, Center of the Yarniverse. So Center of the Yarniverse is in Ashland, which is a little bit north of Richmond. It's probably about 45 minutes away from me. Dances with Wool, the name is so cute. Dances with Wool is only about 30 minutes away from me. So I was very, very excited, especially because they had a debut of DK yarns from a local dyer, Rich Hill. And not only that, so they had a whole bunch of new yarns for sale. Not only that, but they actually had the dyer on premises so you could talk to him and chat and that kind of stuff. So that was a really cool experience. Obviously, all of this was done with social distancing. They were limiting the number of people in the store at any given time because it's a relatively small shop. So, you know, they were actually having people stand socially distanced outside until folks left, and everybody's wearing masks, so on and so forth. So very, very safe. but it was such a fantastic experience. And I'm always so excited to learn about local dyers. So of course I bought yarn. Of course I bought yarn. How could I not buy yarn? And the dyer for Rich Hill was just, he was such a nice person. And I learned not only that he dyes for Rich Hill as a brand, but he has his own brand called Yarny Mammoth, and his wife also has a brand, and the name escapes me, but they each have their own yarns that they dye and colorways that they come up with, and he also dyes for Rich Hill. So so yeah, he's a busy dude. So this is the bag that I got. It's a little sheep. It says Dances with Will. It's so cute. Okay, so that's just because of the store. Let's see, I got a couple other goodies too. Since I was a new customer, I got a stitch marker. They give everybody a stitch marker, and you get your choice of crochet or knitting. So there's my little stitch marker. So cute. And they also gave me, I don't think I put it back in this bag. They also gave me a little measuring tape with a little sheep on it. So cute. So, a couple of little gifts there. Let me show you the yarn. I'm going to try to hold them all together. We'll see how this works. I saw these colors and I knew I had to have them all because I knew that this was going to go really well into something. Try to hold it. Like, yeah, okay. That's not going to work. Let me hold them up to you individually. And these are all named after different things in Richmond, Virginia, which is super awesome. So Rich Hill Yarns, that's the name of the company. And certainly if you like any of these colors, Dances with Wool has a website, so you can purchase off the website whether you're in Virginia or not, just FYI. So Rich Hill, this colorway is called Lewis Ginter, which is on Lakeside Avenue. I'm just reading the tag. It says dyed in Virginia with love, which is really nice. So Lewis Ginter is a botanical garden in on Lakeside Drive. Up in Richmond, Virginia. I have been to Lewis Ginter. It's fabulous. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous colorway. This one is called Tacky Lights. So there's a Tacky Light tour in Richmond every year at Christmas, and you just drive around different neighborhoods and look at the different lights that people put up on their houses in Richmond. This one is called Nickel Bridge, which is a pretty well-known bridge. I believe it's on Chippenham. Anyway, it's called the Nickel Bridge because once upon a time you paid a nickel to cross it. The toll was only a nickel. It is not just a nickel anymore. That's Nickel Bridge. And last but not least, Altria Theater. So it's coming off really navy on camera, but this is actually a gorgeous deep purple. So the Altria Theater, I have been to a number of times. It is a theater in the center of downtown Richmond, or not downtown, but like the VCU area of Richmond, which is near downtown, but not quite downtown. And the Altria Theater has a really long, rich history. It's had a lot of different names. Altria is what it's called now. But it was, back in the day, the Carpenter Center. It was at one point called the Mosque. Obviously, they changed the name, or they changed the name for fairly obvious reasons. It's now the Altria Theater. And the Altria Theater is where I've seen, what did I see most recently at the Altria Theater? I've seen multiple musicals. So when I got to see Hamilton in person, it was at the Altria Theater. When I got to see the Book of Mormon, it was at the Altria Theater. So yeah, I've seen lots of really awesome stuff. So it's so cool to not only have yarn that I know is dyed locally to me, like really locally, but that it's named after things that I know that are in my area that I've grown up with. So that's really, really exciting. I love that. So these are the 4 colors. And of course, Heike's first question was, what are you going to make with it? I have no idea. Something that requires 4 colors. That's what I know. I'm thinking yet another casapinka shawl. I've looked at a couple of patterns that she has that require 4 colors. She does that a lot where you can use 4 colors. And I think this would be fabulous for any of those kinds of patterns. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. So that might be the next cast on. I might actually cast on, actually, I don't think I'm ready. I was going to say, at some point I'll be casting on Slipstravaganza. I actually have a set of Asylum Fibers yarns that I'm going to use for Slipstravaganza. Actually, I think it's the main colors are going to be, or the contrasting colors will be Asylum Fibers, and then I've got 2 skeins, I believe, of Forbidden Fiber Co yarn that will be my main color. But I don't think I'm ready for that yet. That's going to be a massive project. So maybe I'll start with these, and I'll do something that's maybe a little less complicated with these. These are a similar sort of color combination to what I bought for Slipstravaganza. But yeah, I think that's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. So super excited to be able to support a local yarn shop. Super excited to be able to purchase locally dyed yarns, meet a local dyer. It was a really great experience. So that was really exciting. I was so happy about that. And I was happy to be able to participate in local yarn store day because I never get a chance to do that. There are no cross-stitching stores anywhere near here. There's no local needlework shop. There are a couple of needlepoint stores in Richmond, but needlepoint is a very, very different craft. And I have no issues with needlepoint, but you can't get cross-stitch stuff from a needlepoint shop. Just, that's not how it works. One of them did have some 6-stranded cotton floss and silks and things like that, so I could get some supplies from them, but they don't sell anything else that's related to cross-stitching, so I can't go there and engage in the community of cross-stitching. So an LNS day is not going to work for me because there are no LNSs. I'm hoping one day to be the LNS, but that's another story. So that the fact that there are actually local yarn stores that I can go and I can meet people in the community and actually get involved with folks that are interested in the same craft as I am, that's really cool. So very, very cool. I'm very, very excited about that. So yeah, that was last Saturday. The kicker to that was that Essential Spouse and I actually got to go spend time with the stepkid. And I literally have not seen my stepkid since last year, March or February. So it was the first time to see and hang out with my stepkid, social distance, wearing masks. Adam and I are both vaccinated now, and they are actually getting vaccinated. I think they got vaccinated Monday, got their first shot on Monday. So very soon we should be able to actually have the stepkid back at the house and actually spend real time with stepkid. So very excited about that. Okay, one last thing, and then I will let you go. I mentioned that I was trying a bunch of different dyers, that there were some dyers on Etsy that I had looked at and had been wanting to purchase from for a long time. So I finally went to one of them and got some yarn. This dyer is called Dyetastic, and she is based out of Alpharetta, Georgia, I believe, or Marietta. I'm getting my Georgia places confused. My grandmother would be horrified. My mom wouldn't care. Either Alpharetta or Marietta, Georgia, but Georgia. And her colorways are, oh my gosh. And I have been looking at her colorways for at least a year, if not longer, and I just kept forgetting to go and buy something. But finally bought. I'm very, very excited. So let me crinkle for just a second. Crinkle for a very long second because I can't get the bag open. Come on. Okay, y'all, can you even? These are so fantastic. And I think the light in here is a little wonky today, so they're not coming out quite as fast, but they're fantastic. Are they not fantastic? Okay. So let's start with this one. This is called Sunset Storm. I'm just gonna hold this up close so you can see just how many colors. I mean, that is a full-on sunset, y'all. So we got the dark clouds rolling in. That's all the darkness of the storm. And then here's that gorgeous orange and yellow magenta sunset where the storm was rolling in. Oh my gosh, can you even? So this is 100% superwash merino, and this is a single lace. So you remember I was talking about singles are not, they don't have strands that are twisted together. So I don't know if you can actually see the fiber, but this is super, super thin. Lace is even smaller than fingering weight. So now I did not get lace because I wanted lace. I got lace because I wanted this colorway, and that's what she had. So I'm gonna have to find a very special pattern for this and do it in in lace weight. And I'm going to do a little bit of research on lace weight patterns before I get all into this, because I do not want to screw up this yarn. It is so gorgeous and so luscious. These colors are just fabulous. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting little challenge for me to find a lace weight pattern for that, because it's so thin. It's so thin. I'm gonna have to use like sock needles for this, like a US size 1 or something, because it's so thin, so thin. It's about half as thick as fingering weight, because I'll just show you. I don't know if you can see the fibers. This is a regular sock weight yarn, which is about fingering weight, or maybe a little bit thinner than fingering weight, and this is the lace next to it. This is about half as thick as this is. That's how thin that is. That's so tiny. So this colorway is called Climbing Trellis. Oh, look how gorgeous. I cannot get over these colors. This is such a perfect color for spring. So this is a merino sock, so it's 100% superwash merino. This is 438 yards. This is 872 yards. It's literally half. So this is twice as much yardage as this is for the same weight. Yeah. So yeah, I actually do have a pattern. I think I've talked about it before. It's called Lichen, which is this really sort of ethereal, spirally kind of pattern. It's actually designed for like a DK or an Aran weight. I don't know. Maybe this could be. I'm almost afraid to knit with this, because it's gonna come out so delicate. So yeah, like I said, I'll have to do some research before I start doing some lace weight knitting. But this is so gorgeous too, so gorgeous, fantastic. And this is actually a high. I don't know if this is considered high twist, but this is a twisted multi-strand yarn, which I tend to prefer to work with generally. But yeah, so gorgeous, so gorgeous. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. I hope you have enjoyed my additions to my yarny stash. I've already reorganized this once, but as you can see, that little bin is full. I actually have opened up the second bin. So I have places to store yarn, but my Asylum Fiber stuff is behind that. Yeah, so I might have a problem. I will be doing, at some point, I haven't decided when, I will be doing a de-stash, a live de-stash here on the channel. I'll certainly give you plenty of heads up for that. And I think I'm going to do it as a combo yarn and cross stitch de-stash, because I think I have some cross stitch stuff that I would like to free to another home. Or not free, that I would like to release to another home. So I'd like to find places where folks will actually enjoy and stitch stuff, because I have a number of things that I think I probably won't end up using at any point, and I certainly have more than enough stash to last me more than a lifetime. So so at some point that'll be coming. I'll give you plenty of a heads up. That way, if that's something you're interested in, you can save your pennies. But yeah, so that's all that there is for today. I hope you're having a great week. If you need to take care of yourself, or you need to take care of yourself, so do whatever that means to you. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself. There's a lot of stuff going on. I know that it's hitting some folks harder than it is others, but regardless, make sure that you're taking time to take care of yourself, because you can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of you first. So it's not selfish to engage in self-care. You're good enough just as you are. You're important. You matter. And you know, the only way that you can be here for the folks that need you is to take care of yourself first. So that's my PSA for today. Hope you're having a great day. Have a great week. I'll see you again on Friday for Floss Tube. So until next time, have a great one.